She Makes It Happen, a series of online conversations unlocking theatre making with female artists. Produced by Little Soldier Productions with the support of Spain Arts and Culture and Spanish Embassy in London.
Hello everyone, hello world, hello Facebook world and the rest of the world and our Zoom attendees and everyone. My name is Patricia Rodriguez.
And I am Mercè Ribot, and together we are Little Soldier Productions. And here we are today with Elena Olivieri. Hola, Elena.
Hola.
So welcome to our second week of online conversations. She Makes It Happen, unlocking theatre making with female artists, as we say, the series of online conversations with leading international artists. And this is supported by Spain Arts and Culture and the Spanish Embassy in London. Spanish.
Just a little bit of housekeeping before we carry on. If you are joining us on the webinar, you know that you will be able to post questions on our Q&A button. And if you are joining us live on Facebook, you can too as well. You can ask us questions and Elena questions, but you'll have to do it on the comment section. And if we have time at the end, we'll make sure that we can do those for you. And I think this is all.
Yes, this is all.
On the housekeeping front. So, all right. So thank you so much for joining us today, Elena. Elena is a theatre maker. She's a director. She's an actress and a workshop facilitator. She's based in Madrid. And she co-runs international theatre company, Bodo Bodo Productions. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
Fantastic. And as well as that, she also collaborates with other independent makers, both nationally and internationally.
So Elena, we have shared paths with Elena in the small theatre world on many occasions, going to theatre school, Philippe Collier, although we didn't do that in the same year. Also, you did it in London, didn't you? Yes, you were in London with Philippe. And in Paris as well, or just London?
I was just the last 2 years in London.
Okay, the last years of Philippe in London.
Yes.
Great. So, yeah, most recently, Elena and I, only a year ago, Elena and I, we shared the same role, Pigeon, in the play Makers by brilliant artist Caroline Horton. And I had to leave the rehearsals in order to give birth to my second child, Carmen. And one of many joyful things about working on that show, and there were many, was to get to know Elena, how brilliant she was at preparing me getting back on Pigeon shoes. I went to see her in the opening night, and we were just talking about it before, and I had a big bag. She was going up and down, and and I was thinking like, oh my God, how am I gonna be doing that after 6 weeks after giving birth? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is my story with Elena. It's quite crazy.
I think we're gonna go to it later on this evening. Maybe before we start asking you any questions, maybe we can tell our audience a little bit more about you and your training and career. She began her training as an actress with only 14 years. And at the age of 18, she directed her first show, which won a Minola Award as the best director. In 2000, she traveled to London to study with Philippe, as Patricia mentioned, and she founded Bodo Bodo Productions. It's a company that combines clown and bouffon, and they've toured internationally in the UK, Spain, Italy, and Mexico.
And in Mexico, she works as a director and playwright with the company La Piara. And in Madrid, she co-directs with renowned actress Nathalie Seseña in La Inestable Courel. As an actress, she's performed with company as Theatre Sans Frontières, Abbey Theatre, Limsfjord Teatret in Denmark, Caroline Horton, as we said, National Theatre of Spain, and Pablo Messier. Currently, she is co-directing in the Basque Country a play called Porno versus Aphrodite. You have to tell us all about that. For the Benitambe to premiere soon. She is also writing Ramona and Camelia in Mexico City. Also, we would like to hear about that later. And she will start filming her first short. Is that your first short film?
Hopefully, yes, yes.
Yes, correct. Called Encarna. Encarna.
Encarna.
Encarna.
So fantastic. Thank you, Elena. First of all, a quick question that we ask all our guests. If we were in a theatre, we just saw one of your shows, and we come to talk to you after about the brilliant show that we've just seen, what would you be drinking? What would be the drink of your choice?
Vodka.
Vodka. That's a first.
No, probably red wine, or being in Madrid, a beer.
Beer.
Yeah. Una caña bien servida.
Oh, very good, very good. Beer. So, okay, so we have just said that you are busy doing all these things. You are just about to direct this show at the Basque Country. You're writing, yeah, and you are, doing your short film or working on your short film. So, but what are you up to these days? Like, what is your focus now on these days? Like, in terms
right
of...
now?
Yes.
Right now, it's most Porno versus Afrodita, because it's the first things really, like the short movie, I'm getting feedback from directors or already professional directors that I admire their work to add feedback on the script, because it's my first short movie that I wrote. So Ramona and Camelia, it's we will talk later. It's a long process, and it's between production and writing, because I like to write with the actress. So I don't have the actress at the moment because they have to be old.
Okay.
And so we will talk. So my main focus now is on Porno and Afrodita, which will open in Bad Festival, the Festival of Theatre of Bilbao.
Bilbao, yeah.
Bilbao Antorcha Teatre. No, festival. No.
Antioquia?
Lo he dicho mal. Well, I don't prepare never anything, because what I prepare doesn't come out well.
It's good.
It sounded perfect to me.
Yeah. If we
no, it's Bilbao Antorcha Danza.
Okay.
Both theater and dancing. And dance.
So that's your focus, Porno versus Afrodita.
Yes, because we're starting now, in like not even 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's a strong name for a
yeah,
show.
It's something happened. Why? Oh no, it's back.
We can see you. We can see you.
Great.
We can see you.
It's Porno versus Afrodita.
Carry on. Sorry, Elena.
No. It's from this dramaturg that she's writing Euskera dramaturgist, Patricia Urrutia, which runs Benitambe, and it's about the sex and how we adults and teenagers relate to sex.
Okay.
And also how the liquid identity we have with all this Facebook, Instagram, all this new personality we can create influences the sex. And yes, and also how the porno with this straight away access to internet influence the sex in adult and in teenager. So there's this kind of approach to sexuality and love as well between generations. So there's this conversation between adults and teenager in the play.
Yeah, I never actually thought about that, because when I sex in my life, I didn't we didn't have all this social media, so yeah, it's such a, because everything is so influenced by that. It's it's great. It's really, yeah. It's
Yeah.
great.
And there's gonna be a lot of passion, of course, and rock and roll.
Oh, nice.
Yes, they're gonna. Yeah, it's this group of people who plays for pleasure, and now they're getting too old, like adult life. They had to stop, and they have their teenager son, and there is the. Is this the last concert they're gonna give? And in this setup, all this, what I talk about, all this sex and liquid personality and porno and Aphrodite, so this passion, start conversations.
Very exciting, very exciting. So how would you, and probably this is the most difficult question for everyone, because you're starting to talk to us about your work, and how would you describe what you do?
Trying
or what you do, or the type of work that you create.
It always have to see, first of all, the things I like the most, the things I did the most, is to create from zero, from scratch, from something that appealed to me, and in this case with the girls, with Bodo Bodo, that appealed to us, or with La Piara in Mexico, that appealed to the people I'm working with, and then from there find our way to express that. So for example, like with the girls in Bodo Bodo, we had this kind of obsession with death, with this concept of this reality that we live, and that take us completely, but the big meaning is that is as a finish. If it would be for eternity, maybe we wouldn't have so many things in our brain, but that there's a time, and on top of it, you don't know how long it's going to be. So this other element to life, which is death, was something that was in our mind since a long time. And then we went to tour with another show in Mexico, and we just were there when was the day of the death. And then we saw a completely different approach to it, because normally in Europe and in Italy, I mean, everybody goes like, it's like that. It's like a big taboo. You don't talk about it. You scratch yourself and you go away. And there is something you talk.
Celebration,
yeah, celebrate it. So that was, for example, then we decided we're gonna do a show about death. And then we sit down and we talk a lot about it. And we even talk, because it's wonderful, you can have an ideas, but you don't know, nobody knows. So what was the idea of each one of us, and trying to combine in the character this thinking and find the set where all this could happen. So that's what I like to do the most. Like, for example, Ramona and Camelia, as well as to see with Mexico, is because I discovered this amazing, wonderful woman which live in this house in Tepito, which is a very tough neighborhood in the center of Mexico City. And they took this building which was abandoned, was kind of a museum of the fame. You had the underwear of the last torero who left in the hotel. Kind of, I don't know, but this like fame museum, which was abandoned. And they took it, and it's a house for prostitutes that get retired in a way. And they don't exist for the society. Many of them don't have papers, because they lost them through life.
Yeah.
They don't have family, of course. They don't have social position, neither recognition, that no recognition. Yeah, acceptances. And plus they don't have financial resources. I mean, they're old. They could not do their work anymore, neither in most of the cases. So they were completely alone until they get up together and they founded this house. and I get to know them and work with them, and I just felt in love. So I found the answer to the question. I work with what I fell in love.
Okay, so in this project in Mexico, you are actually working with those women.
Yes, I was working. Yes, I was working. Because I wanted to tell their stories. So I wanted to know them, and I wanted to tell them, and the director of the place, the woman director of the place, I wanted to have their acceptances to it, you know, because it's their story. Even though what I'm writing, which is a kind of scaletta, you know, like I know what I want to talk about, I know how I want to talk about it, but the dialogue will come when the actresses will embody, because I like to write for somebody I know, you know, like for the body who's going to say this word. So
it's going to be verbatim. So it's going to be like that. You're going to take their conversations, and then actresses are going to perform, or
no,
they are going to perform their own pieces.
No, so I want to meet them, because I want to meet them and tell them that, and I have maybe they were going to tell me no, and I was okay with it, no? So so after, there's a wonderful book where they tell their stories, and then I found like what I would like to talk about, which come from their story, but it's not gonna be the story of any one of them, neither the word, you know, like it's just is in that sense, it's not gonna be personal or autobiographic. It's fiction completely.
Okay.
And it's a project I started a long time ago with this wonderful company in Mexico, which I love, La Piara, which they're talented people. But then with all this like COVID and everything becomes complicated. So now I'm starting to get back to the material, because I'm still in love with these women, and I really want to tell the story. It's like something is still there.
Still in you,
Yes.
That's a good sign that, you know, you have to keep on, you know, if it's still, I was reading lately, I was, well, this, okay, I will say it, now I started. So I listened to Simon Stephens talking about the formless which is something that he heard from Peter Brook, and it's like, you know, something that is still a little bit unformed, but and you have to let it. This formless hunch, you have to let it, and then if it's still there after a while, and it's still, you know, you have to do it. You have to do it. Sorry.
It's a long time since I discovered them, and then I get to go back to Mexico, and then I get to organize to meet them, and then we had the opening of the other show, La Piara, and we brought all of them to see the show. And it was so, and they're still there. So I think it's something that has to see with motherhood. So because there's always this thing that is, you know, the division between you are a mother or you are a prostitute. If you're you know, if you're a prostitute, you can be a mother somehow in this kind of.
You mean like the perception of society, the perception of society about sex workers? Okay.
Absolutely, and they are all of them. So
So it's interesting. Interesting to break all those preconceptions through this work.
So we get out of your work for a little bit, like just take us a little bit of the things you like. What do you like to see in the theater, or not theater, but what do you enjoy watching? Do you follow someone's work? And if so, why? Is there some company you go like, wow, this is like, I always followed?
Yes. I watch a lot of theater, and what touched my soul, which for each one of us is different, what the poetic world touched me. So there's Pablo Messier I worked with, and I love what he does. It's always like food for the soul. Alfredo Sansol, I love his poetic world, and I follow, and yes, and it's a big pleasure. Angelica Lidl, I enjoy a lot this beast of the scene, and this and this truth, like we know filter, very authentic, like La Zaranda, Troncoso, and for sure I'm not saying somebody that would say, "Oh, how didn't I say it?" You know, but yeah,
cool, very cool, very cool. Thank you.
Complicité. You see, I can keep going.
Yeah. And I think maybe we wanted to talk a little bit more about Collier and your experience training there. And for those, there's some people that might not have heard about his work. So maybe it would be great to hear a little bit more from you, your experience there, and how this has developed you as a performer and theatre maker.
Yeah, well, I think Philippe creates a lot of theatre maker, because he really impulses this creativity. Is a training actor school, but there's really, I think, is a creative training school. Like there's this big aim on finding your own voice, on finding your own way, on finding what you like, which is the only thing you can do. I mean, there's no way of doing the things, but it's kind of find your voice. And I think that Philippe really, really helps you in finding your voice. And yeah, and each time you go out, he never tell you what to do, but he tell you very clear where not to go. So by knowing where not to go, then you find where is your way. And he's also a big teacher of the mystery, which is for me another things that maybe why also I do theater, is to kind of live this mystery, which you can't understand, you can't explain. You can maybe sometimes makes yours through that, through theater, for example. And so he always speaks of not killing the mystery, you know. And yeah, so he's an amazing, great teacher. And to me, like, the company came out of that. The first show we went to Edinburgh came out of that. I mean, the first show was called the Caca Show. I mean, it gives you all the freedom. Yes, it really gives you all the freedom of the world.
How did it go in Edinburgh?
What is it about?
Well,
British audience.
You can't believe it.
What's it about?
Well, this is amazing. I mean, Patricia, I'm still working with. Juanma, I'm still working with. The next things we want to do is a show called, which also I forgot to write down, I have to say, sorry, which have an opening date in Ermua already. Los tiempos han cambiado. Times are changed. Times are changed. It's ironical. You know?
Do they have no?
Not much, let's say. So it's then what Philippe's have is this buffoon and clown spirit, which is, for me, was a gift, like completely gift, and gift for art, because you really have to be able to go through your own limits. Even though maybe then you don't like to keep going through the path of buffoon, you don't have, I personally really like this mixture between clown and buffoon, so this innocence and this view of the scarna, completely, no, without filter. of the buffon. So the mixture of the two opposite, I think it opens a big kind of possibility. And Philippe gives you that because he's a great buffon teacher and a great clown teacher. And they're completely on the two lines. So it gives you a big spectrum of possibilities. So, the Kaka show is about.
And for those of, I just want to we need to translate, no? For those of you like not speaking Spanish, Kaka means shit. So that's the name of the shit show.
The shit show, exactly.
Shit.
And so, and it went, you know, these things that tell you, this title has punch, this title doesn't have a punch. I mean, the Kaka show, and the postcard was a man dressed like a caca. So we made
very subtle. I see you keep the mystery there.
Yeah, there was a part of mystery because he had a little bottle with a little turd inside in the head. And then he had a big turn around the body. And then he was dressed as a transvestite. I mean, like a drag queen.
I'm gonna Google it.
Google it. Like a drag queen. So there was this big drag queen Kaka, which only appeared in the end, but it was the real protagonist of the show.
Is it gonna be revived?
So, yeah, no, but we had a lot of review. Like they're not one of the Herald or the Scotsman. I can't remember now, of different artists, and we were there like they're not the crazy, they're the visionary. And there was all this Kaka running in a football because then we had a Kaka chorus dancing and singing.
Amazing.
And all was about very short. Yes, this last workshop was. I'm gonna put some light on because I see myself like
go for it.
In the mystery.
Yeah, getting in there.
Dark.
Go for it. Don't worry. If you
as you do that, we're gonna remind everyone, please do post your questions in the Q&A if you have any questions, if you are here in the webinar with us, and if you are at home on our Facebook Live, make sure you post your questions in the comments. We will make sure to put some links, some of these links about the companies that Elena is talking about. And if we find the trailer of this show, we will definitely post it in our social media.
We don't. At the time there was no YouTube, so we have a trailer, but it's on a CD.
Okay.
And I never put it. It's a good idea. I should put it on the YouTube.
It's all in the collective memory.
Absolutely. And Troncoso was there. Troncoso was the main character. The main character. No, it wasn't the drag queen Kaka. It was the protagonist of the show, but it was the main character. So very short because it's a long story. But the last, for example, about Philippe, no, he does these things of writing and directing.
Yeah.
So the students tell stories, and then somebody makes it into a text. So from reality, and then somebody says, I would like to direct it. And then you have 20 minutes. So this Juanma Rodriguez, which is a wonderful actor I work with at the day, and these things of time are changed is with him, and Patricia. And the last show when Cecilia was with him. So he also make big union, Philippe, because you really make together.
Yes. The friends you make there, that you keep. Yes.
So he said this amazing, stupid story about when he was 17 and he's a hypochondriac and he had a pain in the ass. And so they went to have some Kaka analysis. And then they gave him the result of a person who had syphilis, hepatitis B. He was about to die. And he was 17 and he had no sex. And he went there to pick up the analysis with the girlfriend. And the girlfriend, fainted. So, but he in this Span English, and Juanma is super, super funny. And I was peeing, listening to him. And I said, no. I want to tell this story. It's completely ridiculous, but so I imagine this nasty storyteller and this nasty doctor and this chorus of cacas. And starting from this nasty storyteller, and then I said to Philip, I want to write it, but I want to direct it
As well.
Okay.
Okay.
And then from 20 minutes, we did 1 hour. We did the whole show.
My God.
And so next year, we decided to go to the Fringe, and we had full audience mostly every night, because the show, the name, I think in the beginning helped. We were 10, so it helped to get audience. And then it went through boca a boca.
Word of mouth.
Because, I mean, it's bad that I'm telling it, but it was really, 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 really very, yes, very, very funny. And Juanma was taken for Novembre de Acheromañas, so he couldn't play himself because he was playing himself, and I was like desperate. And it's when Philippe told me, take Jose. And that's how and Jose did a wonderful job. And it was
you have to tell everyone who Jose is, because we keep on mentioning Jose, and maybe some of our audience.
Jose Troncoso, it's when we met with Patricia in Makers, and is the one as well, yeah, the company La Estampida, the one I said I like to see his job.
José Troncoso. He's got a show now at Teatro Español as well, Frutería Esteban, con lo bien que estábamos.
Sí.
And more coming up, and yeah. Okay. Let's move into the process of making a little bit. Yeah. I'll take this one. So basically, one of the reasons why we're doing these talks, She Makes It Happen, is because we want to challenge this misconception, we think.
Your audio went.
Sorry. This is, okay, I will repeat it.
No, just the last thing.
Preconception?
Yeah, preconception.
Okay, so basically the reasons why we are doing this is because we want to challenge what people think about how theater gets made. Many people, not everyone obviously, but many people think that that the making of a show involves having a text already written, then that text gets to a director. This director chooses the actors, then he rehearses with the actors with his text a little bit, and then production comes in with a set design, lighting design, and all that. Obviously, some shows get made like this, but most of the people we have chosen to do these talks, they don't make theater generally this way. So what is it making it for you? How do you see the process of making theater?
Yeah, so a bit as I was saying before, I like, it's not at all as you said it, normally in my process, but it's normally a creative, collective creation. So with the people, rather my company or other company, or even once I did it with students, and it was a big challenge, but it was beautiful. It was like, what do we want to talk about? What really touch us, interests us? What, you know, what our body, heart, bowel are around. And then starting from the theme, or sometimes it's something that happened in the reality, for example, like the woman of Casa Xochiquetzal, like something that exists. And starting from there, there's a part of talk, of course, and then it's creating the character first. And then finding the characters, it's kind of where these beings can be, you know, in which setup they can be. And then it's a lot of also bringing elements to play with. Like with Bodo Bodo, we always said, we're gonna do a show without props and without text. We never get it there, you know. It's like we always, at least me, talk a lot, you can see, and bring all of us a lot of props. Then they play instruments, so we always have this huge stuff to move around. So in my mental things, there's one day something with like no words and nothing, but normally there's a lot of things props and clothes and whatever. And many times also music indirect, like playing music. And then at least when normally I like when there is a kind of path where we can go through, then it starts this ping pong between improvising and then writing, cleaning, and then try the material and so on until you get to something which it's the definite, let's say, what you stick for. But then in the at least in this like buffon clown spirit, it's always that after a time of still opening the show, when the next and the main character come in, which is the audience. Not because you are going to mold it in order that you like it more or less, but because it's mostly with clown and buffon, it breathes with you. It's another character, you know, like it's going to tell you things back. So getting like this feedback to, you know, sometimes you discover something you didn't give any importance. It's like very important and no, and something you really broke your brain is not so much. So it's very surprising. So there's a big part of breathing with the audience. And like with Bodo Bodo, we still nowadays cut things, add things, you know, like it's never really, I mean, of course not everything, no, but it's never finished.
And who, because we've talked a lot about like how you initiate the project, finding things that you absolutely love, and then having the actors there seems that to be really important for you. So who else, apart from the actors and you, or not as a director or performer, who else is in that room with you collaborating in the project, and what do you look for in a team member to join your production?
Yeah, I'm gonna sound very cheesy, but it's love the project. It's love the project. Like you know, this same enamoramiento.
To fall in love is like
this no, and when it's possible, it's great to have musician, set design, light design. I love light work, and I can do magic things with so little. And yeah, and costume I really like, but I like so much, we at least with Bodo Bodo, and then always end up, I really like doing it. But it's great to have like set and costume person, and then of course what you did scratch can make it amazing and super practical, no? But yes, I mean, when it's possible to have all the part of a creation in the room from the beginning, that's
from the beginning. Okay.
Sometimes like in Mexico, or now with the project of Bilbao is happening again. When it happens, it's the best, of course. I mean, no more.
From day one of rehearsals, you have all the creative team there.
No, they one. No, I mean in the first part where you have the more intimate group, like the if you're going like to write and direct you and then the actors, or if there's somebody who writes and you direct you, this person and the actors. Like the first day is also for me good to be like a small group, you know, like to find this, but very soon, as soon as possible, to have meeting outside, getting to making love with the project, and then bring it everybody in the room.
So
like for example, with this Porno versus Afrodita, Patricia wrote the text. In this case, she wrote it, and then we improvised. Before she presented the text, we improvised with the actors, but only us. like
Okay.
her, which is acting as well, me, and the other two actors. And we try things, we see where there was things that were not clear. All the doubts, we embody them.
Okay.
And then she had the last writing.
Okay.
And then COVID made the impossible the meetings, and then because I was pregnant, so it's a co-direction, and so the other directors it was there, so they could do it when the confinement were lighter, and they start to improvise around and see and bring inside the music, the musician, and the costume and the set, so bit by bit.
And one question, like, has COVID-19, particularly because we had to be separated all from each other, has it pushed the writing a bit more, like in terms of, okay, so now we're going to work a bit more in the writing, even though you cannot be together improvising so much. So has it happened in your process?
In this process, the text was already written.
Okay, okay.
So we did some like reading, and they did then many other reading, like trying to be together, even though we couldn't
keep it
embody it. Yes, but definitely, if probably wouldn't have been written, we would have been maybe doing it. But no, I don't think so. I need first me at least. Once like for example, con los tiempos han cambiado, time are changed, we couldn't, like we had already this, we have this in the mind, and now because we come maybe from the same, I don't know, but we needed to see each other and being silly, embody this, and then there can be a solitary writing.
Yes. Amazing. You wanna take it now, Mercè? Shall I?
Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah, okay. So, do you have any rituals before a show? Is there something you do as an actress, or even as a director, or, you know, maybe I would say before opening night? Do you do anything in particular?
We do it every time, like when it's with my company or I work with, they call me, I like to do the you take yourself with the little finger, and then you make a little speech. It changes day by day, and can also change who say it, of course. And then you go, and we're gonna give them a lot of shit. My life is around shit, death, and love. Oh my God. And porno now.
The elemental.
Yeah, we do it all the time. Actually, I mean, I cannot. Sometimes when you are late for some reason, it can happen, and in the Fringe, it happens quite a lot because you have a very short time. But for me, it was I had to do it. I had to do it. I'm Italian. I'm superstitious. You know, I cannot not do it.
One of the things that I was wondering about your process that would be interesting for us is like if you do scratch performances. So for those who are not familiar with scratch performances, is that so sharing your work before it's finished. Do you do them, and do you like doing them? Do you find them useful? And also, are you open for punters to be part of it, for like normal audience members, or just for like industry people? What is your process in that way?
When I was younger, in the beginning with Maya and Madeleine, we didn't like, because we were in London. In London is quite common. We didn't like it so much, this opening the room, but then we started doing it, and it's useful. And nowadays, I really like to not do scratch. I don't know if it would be a scratch, but I like to, in this case, choose people like with the script. Like I give it like to read to people I know, and I want to hear the feedback, you know, and of course, and the feedback that comes, but you know, like choosing who you invite. But this I really like, and more I like to do it in a previous, like
Early.
earlier, yes,
Earlier
not
stages.
when it's done or pretty much done, but even when it's very green, like very intimate, and yes, people you admire and love. I like it. I like it most and most, and I think it's very useful. And then maybe sometimes I have a friend that you know that she told me, I know that then you're not gonna do anything that I told. But even though, I mean, not even, it's good, very, very good to hear it.
Yeah, I think so. So do you think about the audience before making a show, or, you know, like who is it for, or do you think about those things? Or you are a maker that goes like, I'll do something I like, and I will worry about the audience later to make it accessible, or
Yeah.
what's your view on the audience?
No.
You don't think about the audience?
No, like in this last, which is I'm going to co-direct. Of course, we know that it's for, we would like, because it touches for teenager and for adult. So you know that also teenager will come. So, and they basically don't go so much to theater, because you have this like child theater and then jump to adult. But there's these big phases of teenager that they don't go. So in that case, yes, because it was challenging. Like, okay, it would be great to do something that teenager goes and say, yeah, I wanna watch this. This is molon, no? This is cool. Like with the Kaka show, it worked. We had the yeah, it was there every night. It was the teenager son of some other company that ran in the Comedia, and he and the other daughter, which was a children, but he was like 13, see every single show every night.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
So with this Porno versus Aphrodita, we are like, we would like to do something that teenagers said, hey, yes, let's go to theater, no? Please.
Wow. With the name porno in it? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So we will make it the trick there.
Awesome.
What else? I wanted to, before we go into questions from our attendees, I wanted to ask you about your travels in like touring experience, working in Mexico, in Spain, in the UK, and how what's the best place for making, or what's any experiences that you have, fun experiences that you had touring. Yeah, it's quite open, really, the question. But,
each audience is so different from each country. And mostly when like I tour mostly with clown/buffon show. So it's very, very more, because audience, as I said before, enters even more in the show, like they're part of it. So it's very clear that they're different. I have to say that Mexico, it's a wonderful audience. Yeah. Wonderful audience.
We know that a little bit.
No? You tried to?
It's great.
They're really warm and but I mean, Spain too, and Italy too is warm, and England too. No, it's true. But yeah, Mexico is. And
were they really vocal? Are they more vocal than European audiences?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, they're very, like, for example, in Cabaret Mortal, we ask people to come as they want, because in the Cabaret Mortal, we treat the audience as if they were deaf. You know, so we are in the death. We are.
So they are dead. They're dead.
Yeah. So we are dead, the one we are on the stage, and this cabaret is a kind of trespass, and then you are directed, if you are Jewish, to Jewish paradise or hell, if you are Muslim to, you know, like, then you have different, if you are if you don't believe in it as well, you have another way, but that's after.
So you are in the purgatory kind of area.
Kind of, it's a kind of limbo. It's when you die and you appear in the cabaret. So
right. Well, that sounds fun.
But the problem is that the people leave, the audience leave, but these three characters are kind of stuck there.
Stuck there, yeah.
So, but the people who are there, they're going to leave when it's finished. So we treat them as if they were dead, and they participate in the show. I am a drunk femme fatale, and I pick them up and I flirt with them, blah blah blah. So we ask them to come as they would like to be buried. Buried. Yes. Buried. Yeah. So, you know, like some people decided want to be dressed like this, or some other, your family dress you. But in this case, we, in the like paper of the show, we ask you come as you like. And in Mexico, I mean, in Mexico was amazing. I mean, people came naked. They came naked.
But you asked them to dress up.
Yeah, but they
didn't read the instructions probably.
Yeah, because it's like, how you want to be for the eternity? And he said, oh, for the eternity, I want to be naked. I was like, okay. And you know,
wow.
Great.
What clothes are you going to need in eternity?
Yeah, why? Clothes? Why clothes? And he only had this little bag, like una pequeñísima mochilita in the pinky to cover, you know, like a little Tarzan to cover the, like, and with the string, and he came up on this, because sometimes I pick them up and sometimes I ask him to come. And this was, the three of us were like, all right, okay, fine. So, but I'm saying it not only, and they came with great dress and all kind of dress, also in Madrid, but I mean, no one came naked, but also because in Mexico, these things can happen, you know? To me, Mexico is the country where anything can happen, anything. And they have this mixture between the most, I mean, terrible things and most amazing and lovable things. Like this big abanico, ¿cómo se dice abanico?
Yeah, like a wide, like a, how can I say that? Like a
can't
wide range of
possibilities.
Can happen,
yes.
Yeah.
In Mexico, they incarnate. And so, yes, so.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have,
what is it?
Long. We don't have long.
Yeah, we don't have long. But I wanted to ask you a question. Do you, and when you have directed a show and you live it, how is your feeling about it? Like, you know, once you have directed, and now with Porno versus Aphrodita, you're gonna get out of that. How is your second life with it? What do you do?
Yeah, no, to me, when I have to leave it, I have to leave it. There's, you know, when I can't follow it. But when I can't follow it, I like to go and watch it and give notes. Every single show.
Oh yeah, you are a note person.
I yes. But I like to kind of, you know, like get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. To me, as a director, I know there's many directors say, once it's done, I leave my son and the son goes there. To me, of course, I leave it, do it his life, but I think it's for me, I like it to keep, if I can have an eye on it. And because sometimes, and I'm an actress too, when you're inside, sometimes a show can grow in the, I mean, not wrong direction, because I don't like to talk of right and wrong, but of lose, as an actress, you can go, or as an actor, you make it grow sometimes in the actor way, you know, and sometimes you don't have this, of course you have a feeling of the whole, you know, like Chekhov would say of the whole show, but it's sometimes difficult when you are inside. and most when there's some clown or buffoon in it, which so the response of the audience can make sometimes longer and longer, and sometimes, and then the big design, the whole can get yes. So in mostly in that kind of show, I like to follow as much as I can and go deeper in the same, you know, like yes, pointing it, yes, you know, like and
defining.
So soy una directora pesada.
She said she's really tiresome, a tiresome director.
Yeah. How did the show go? How did the show
every night?
You didn't do that, no, did you?
Only if I watch it, but if I watch it, for sure. I did a beautiful creation show here in Madrid with Olga Rodriguez, Belén Ponce de León y Nacho Mateos, called En Familia, which was as well, they wanted to talk about things which were very different, and we put it together, and there was this crazy meeting between brothers, and it was a text in the end, but and every night I was going, it was like, she's gonna have notes, and yes. Yes, I do have notes.
And just tell us the last question, how is to share a role with Patricia? Is she, was she a good learner? Was she a good student?
Oh,
come on, Elena, give me good publicity.
Of course. No, she's amazing. She's amazing. I was really like, I can't believe it. With 6 weeks giving birth. So I couldn't, I was like, but really? And then, you know, now I'm a mom too, so I can understand you more. I had this, I call it, me la suda things.
I'm going to try to translate it in a really subtle...
Go for it,
I don't care.
I don't care.
She's got yeah. Like the thing that I don't care.
I don't care pill, or also I call it chocho gordo, which is...
Go for it, Mercè.
I'm not going to translate this. Definitely not.
Well, yes, that you are there, you know? You're there and everything is fine and everything is going to work and there's no problem. And it's amazing because we should be there all the time.
So you think that you are there now since your maternity, you feel you are in that place of I don't care.
Yeah, no. Yes. In the maternity.
Sorry, I'm trying to, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, in the maternity, you don't have choice. You are there, you know, like so many stuff
You have to be
that you get very practical and you take the pill in the morning of I don't care. If it's broken, I don't care. There's a solution? No, I don't care.
And how is that balancing with like your love for, because you are saying, you know, you get drawn to the projects and your passion behind the projects, and then you have to balance it with this I don't care. How does that marry?
Yes, that's again, I have to go to Google abanico. This is again where I think is
the
great.
Wide range.
The wide range in creation between that you just said and appeal of I don't care. You know what I mean? Like all this,
yes.
And then also some let go, suelta, you know? And when these two, because of course, and Patricia, getting back to the question, was this wide range. Of course, she had all this wanted to do and know it and studying the text and everything. But at the same time, she had, I think for the state of the just giving birth, saying, okay, I let go. I go on stage and I let go. And I forgot about, because she had so much information. Like the changing was very quick. We had what, 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days and a half.
Yeah, 2 days and a half, you know? So it was amazing to see that. It was really pleasurable. Really, really pleasurable. She had all this tick, 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 and then when she got on stage, she was, and it was a lot of pleasure. And it was great.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you. really, and lots of fun. And thank you so much for joining us tonight and being
Thank you, Elena. Really,
and
really
sharing
nice.
all your stories.
And thank you, our sponsors. Thank you, Spain Arts and Culture, and thank you, Spanish Embassy in London, for supporting these online talks. She makes it happen, and looking theatre making with female makers. Did I say it right?
Yes, absolutely. And we have another one on Thursday with the fabulous Teatro en Vilo. Please join in. And more to come next week. So we are not going to elongate it anymore because we are already running late. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Elena.
If I missed anything, we're going to post everything online, some of like the links to your website and
the Kaka show, if any.
We've talked about, and some of the stuff that we didn't have time to talk about. So thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck with the projects.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. She Makes It Happen was produced by Little Soldier Productions with the support of Spain Arts and Culture and Spanish Embassy in London. For more information about Little Soldier Productions and our online talks, head to www.littlesoldierproductions.co.uk.